Hey everyone, happy Halloween. It is the end of October, October 31st, and there's a rainstorm here. Got a whole bunch of the crops secured before the rain. Working very long hours, and making progress. In the last month, the season ended. Aloe left. I think that was in the last month, not the month before. Um, not very good dynamics. Just kind of hostile dynamics, and the result of immature people who don't account for themselves and who consistently lie, and then it falls upon their responsible relations, other relativities, to reflect those inconsistencies so that we may find truth in relation to service that we may all provide for each other. And when the service is lacking, the relativity can potentially get diluted from the truth. Some relativities prefer lies. They don't value the truth, and they make their way through life as unrooted, groundless chameleons who will change their relativity depending on the environment to serve their own interests, as opposed to valuing a truth and carrying that truth through life. It's all about values. What do we value? The culture. The pop culture is all about valuing everything in a quantifiable money term, or there's many different incentives for values and culture, and the popular ones are mostly all perverse because they're incentivizing profitable mechanisms which degrade the integrity of the individual for the benefit of somebody else, without the ability to course correct, to purge our own negative programming, to release ourselves from negative relativities that are not aligned with our ideals and who would only drag us down into their perverse relativities. To separate from these people is a service to both. Not that I'm pinning this all on Aloe, but also in the last month, Gypsy, on the last day of the season, after seeking special treatment in relation to his share of the crop, not receiving that special treatment and being treated the same as everyone else in the cooperative, this individual had a temper tantrum, apparently, or maybe they just exposed their truth, and either lied or tried to subject our cooperative, the peers who were working together in order to create an abundant trajectory, decided to sacrifice their place in that and subject that whole cooperative to some authority figure relative to that perverted individual that is subjected to such relativities. which is tragic because this individual was at times highly harmonious, very valuable and productive, and appreciated. And at other times, a ball and chain of negativity is unproductive and divisive. And so the choice is ever ours. Each relativity has free will, and so given the choices in life, how we act, what we choose, is a reflection of our truth. And we learn through time. So in the past month, the two individuals who had the second and third largest portions of contribution in the last season, both of them are at odds with Allodium, and yet both of them can potentially return to harmony and alignment with Allodium by accounting for themselves. Failing in accounting for themselves, the requirement falls upon other individuals, myself, to account for them, to reflect their lessons so that they can account for themselves. And that's the ideal, is that individuals will account for themselves and they don't require accountability from their peers. So, at the end of the season, the plants all harvested. Trying to dry all the plants now. The weather is very wet, and drying is difficult. There's one individual, myself, doing the work of what would otherwise probably be at least a half dozen. Yet, I am doing my best, and whatever happens, happens. And we will, we'll see what the future holds with the results of the harvest. I'm not holding out expectations or projections as to the results, which is what the selfish, monetarily oriented relativities always do. That's all they do. They think about themselves and how they're going to get the maximum amount of money right now. So I don't know what's going to result. I just know I'm going to keep on working, and I'm going to keep on doing the work that will potentially create that abundance. And as effective as I am at doing that, that's the end result of what will be secured, seeing as I'm the only one here at the end of the season to secure it all. Potentially there would be other people here if I wasn't so direct with them, and yet if I wasn't so direct with people who aren't holding themselves accountable, responsible for themselves, then the result of the cooperative would be immaturity, would be unaccountability, would be a cooperative motivated by monetary incentives, with selfish orientations and short-term perspectives. Such thing has no endurance, and it will not last. However, Allodium in its current state, even if it's just one individual that holds the vision and is motivated to do the work, will persevere. And if the trader's threats are true, then I'll face the external authority figures by myself to communicate the realities of this truth relative to their truth, and come what may. If Gypsy was just lying just because he feels so pathetic that he wants to bring other people down to his relativity, because that's the basic mentality of selfishness. Doesn't care about anyone else. If it was just a lie, then perhaps that person will account for themselves, admit their own lies, and return to alignment and harmony. And we'll see what happens. The whole point of the video is 2 people are at odds with Allodium, 2 people who were the biggest contributors aside from myself in this season. The season's over, and now we're in a period of setting precedents for the judicial system of Allodium, how we account for each other and ensure that there's integrity amongst the cooperative, as simultaneously the results, the crop from the season is somewhat up in the air as far as, well, some of it's secured and a lot of it is still up in the air. And I will continue to do my best to secure this abundance so that it can be our common ground, and we can proceed on this trajectory as a cooperative, including the people who are aligned with the cooperative and the people who are not aligned with the cooperative. I will at the very least set an example of responsibility of how to account for such people so that we may all thrive together. And those people, if they are, it'll just serve everyone, because being direct, they come back into alignment or they spin out, and it's all their choice. Just reflecting the reality, the truth, so that the choice can be made for the Most High, for us all. And I'll end it on that. Talk to you next month.